I was tweaking out really, really hard last night at work because whenever I scroll on TikTok, it's just it's just a trend to hate on shit, right? It's just a trend to crap on everything as much as you can, regardless if the product is good or bad. You just be a hater, be a hater, be a hater, be a hater. That's what's popular nowadays, right? So I was tweaking last night at work because as I was scrolling by, TikTok recommends me all this Marvel stuff, and I'm sure that's what causes engagement. So it purposefully gives me things where people are hating, but just everyone's complaining about Red Hulk was bad, Red Hulk was bad, Red Hulk was bad. And I want to talk about that, right? I thought Red Hulk was fantastic. Everyone can have their own opinions on it. That's fine. But what I want to talk about specifically was there's a lot of people complaining that Red Hulk wasn't comic accurate, right? That's fine. If that's genuinely your opinion, that's fine. But I'm going to generalize here. I'm going to do a huge generalization. You motherfuckers don't read comics. You fucking don't, right? And it's extremely obvious because, and I know this is kind of embarrassing. I'm a full grown man complaining about comics, but to each their own. For the past 5 years, I won't even start with that, right? What is comic accurate Red Hulk? Let's talk about who he is. It's Thunderbolt Ross. It's not Red Hulk. There is no Red Hulk. It's just Thunderbolt Ross, but bigger, and he's gamma radiated, and he's like fire radiated, right? Not only that, he uses specialized government weapons so he can use weapons as the Hulk, right? His first canon kill in 2008, if I remember correctly, was Abomination, and he shot him to death. He didn't choke him out. He didn't do some Hulk shit. He just shot him with a personalized government made weapon. And I genuinely, I do not believe. It's just impossible. I refuse to believe. Everyone complaining that Red Hulk isn't comic accurate, I refuse to believe that you guys know what you're talking about, right? Because guess what? What is comic accurate Red Hulk? He's basically Professor Hulk in the MCU. He's just a big regular person. That's not the Hulk that we want, right? Again, I understand if you read comics and you decide like, oh, dude, I would have much rather Red Hulk be comic accurate. That's fine. But I sure as hell hope you aren't one of those people complaining about the Hulk's current state in the MCU, because I thought maybe I'm just disconnected from everyone. But I thought the big problem with Professor Hulk is that he's a smartass. Is that he's just a regular Bruce Banner in a Hulk body. We want Hulk. We want monster. We want the gamma radiated fucking psycho, right? What was so wrong with Red Hulk? I actually don't understand. There was this one issue during his debut series in 2008. Red Hulk comes face to face with Thor. What happens? They fight, they battle. I'm going off memory. I don't remember how the fuck they got here, but they somehow end up in space. What happens? Red Hulk is able to grab Mjolnir, and Thor's like, "Yo, how the hell you're worthy? What's wrong with you?" And Red Hulk's like, "Nope, we're just in space. There's no gravity here." And he hits Thor with Mjolnir. That's comic accurate Red Hulk, right? That's not just some like no. As far as I know, no one else has ever done that. That's just a Red Hulk feat that he's strong enough to do that shit, right? And the best argument that I've heard from that, well, because yes, it's true that it's zero gravity, you're able to just move it around, but you're not going to be able to use Mjolnir's powers. You're not going to be able to control lightning. Which is, I don't know if we're like reading the same comic book or what's going on, but that's bullshit. Literally, when Red Hulk wields Mjolnir in space and he hits Thor in the head with it, lightning shoots out of Mjolnir. So he's using Mjolnir as it's intended to be used. It's not a loophole for, you get what I'm trying to say, right? That's comic accurate Red Hulk. Just the most like the craziest shit happens, right? I refuse to believe that people who complain about Professor Hulk being in the MCU, I refuse to believe these are the same people that are complaining that Red Hulk isn't comic accurate. The big General Ross who uses giant pistols and machine guns that can wield Mjolnir. I refuse to believe that these people are complaining that, oh, this isn't comic accurate and this isn't comic accurate. The main point that I'm trying to make is, if you read comics, fuck yeah. If you don't read comics, fuck yeah. I hope you enjoy the movie, and I'm glad that you're able to give your input, because the bigger the community is, the better, right? But I hate this like authoritarian bullshit where people like, well, in the comics, and it's like, dude, you don't read the fucking comics, right? That's my main issue, where it's very very obvious the people that are complaining about Red Hulk not being comic accurate clearly don't fucking read the comics, because you shouldn't have a problem with this. He's not comic accurate. Let's talk about MODOK, right? MODOK's design was as comic accurate as you could possibly get. His character arc and who he actually was in the MCU, that wasn't good. But that's not what people complained about, right? They didn't care about the comic accuracy of MODOK being this pure evil son of a bitch. People were complaining about his design. His design was as comic accurate as you could possibly get. I genuinely don't understand. Do you guys want comic accurate or do you not want comic accurate, right? Another example is if you guys know who Mighty Raccoon is, he's been making fan-made comic book animations for like over like 10 years, I assume, ever since I was in middle school. So that's at least like 10 years, I assume. He recently, to with the announcement of Avengers Doomsday coming out, he made an animation based off of the Secret Wars panel of Doctor Doom killing Thanos, right? And that's awesome. That was a very, very cool animation. But that's another prime example of everyone saying, like, oh, this is okay because this was in the comics. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? You guys are just trying to sound smart. I could be bullshitting right now. Maybe everyone reads comics and that's just how everyone forms their opinion is, oh, if it was in the comics, it's okay to put it in a movie. And if it's not in the comics, don't put it in the movie. But I just don't believe that, because I'm not number one comic reader, right? I do my best to keep up with as much stuff as possible. But never in my life have I personally had this expectation, nor have I ever met anyone that also reads comics had this expectation. I've never met anyone where once they open up a new series, their expectations are, oh, I hope this is just like the last series. I hope nothing changes. I hope everything is the same. Like, am I weird for that? Because why are we treating the movies like that? It doesn't make any sense. In my mind, the movies aren't supposed to be a one-to-one replication of what happened in the comics. Because guess what? If that's what their objective was, they fucking failed horrendously. The movies they could take inspiration, that's fine. But the expectation should not be what is and is not comic accurate, right? I 100% fully support doing your own thing. Be creative. The whole point of this stuff is that you're supposed to show creativity and tell a good story. That's all that matters, right? I would understand critiquing it and saying like this has nothing to do with the comics if they took someone like Daredevil and just took away his blindness. They just made him like a regular dude that can fight crime. I would understand that critique, right? Because that's just not Daredevil anymore. Or if they took Nightcrawler and just he wasn't Catholic anymore, right? That takes away a huge part of their characters. I would understand that critique, but that's not what we're critiquing. We're basically complaining that Red Hulk doesn't have his fucking black fingernails. What the fuck does that have to do with anything, dude? As long, like, going back to Red Hulk, right? As long as he is a gamma radiated Hulk that can produce fire, the angrier he gets. Tell your own story. Like, don't rip shit out of the comics, man. I want to see something new. I want to see something different. And whether we like it or not, cinema is completely different from comic books, right? It's just a completely different culture. And it's the exact same thing with video games as well, right? You're going to see completely different iterations of exactly the same characters. Let's take a look at it, right? If you read 5 Spider-Man comic books, right, from the same series, issue 1 through 5, any series you pick, and then you go and watch 5 Spider-Man movies, and then you go play 5 Spider-Man video games, it's going to be the same character. You're going to have a lot of similarities, but guess what? They're all going to be completely different stories. You're going to have the key points, right? Peter Parker, he designs the costume himself. He gets bit by a radioactive spider. A mentor tells him with great power comes great responsibility. You're going to have key points, right? You're going to have the things that make the character who he is. but the stories are going to be completely different. That's what makes this shit good. That's what makes it fun. I Again, there's nothing wrong with you if you read comics and you want something to be more comic accurate, that's fine. But I hate this idea that that's your only critique. You should have reasons as to why things should be why they are, right? I haven't heard a single person give a reason as to how Red Hulk should be different or why he should be different. It's just, oh, it's not comic accurate. And what? He's a Hulk that radiates the angrier he gets, the hotter he gets, right? What do you want differently? No one has said any like there's it's just, oh, it's not comic accurate. Let's talk about MODOK. I can tell you personally all the different shit that they should have done with MODOK in the MCU. But the only thing that anyone has to say is, oh, it's ugly. The CGI looks terrible. That's what the fuck you. Apparently, your guys' only critique is that things need to be comic accurate. Now it's comic accurate. Now it's fucking ugly. Now the CGI is bad. It doesn't make any sense. You guys can, like, it's cool to have your own opinion. That's awesome. But I hate it when people just try to sound smart or look smart. I understand that Marvel's super popular and everyone wants to be involved. That's awesome. I want you guys to be involved. I want you guys to engage. I want you guys to share your opinions and your thoughts, right? But it's I'm really sorry about the weird cut. This video is going to be edited super terribly and everything's going to be off. I'm sorry. This was just supposed to be a quick rant, so I'm not going to put too much effort into it. I kind of just want to get this stuff off my chest. My recording, for whatever reason, stopped towards the end, so I didn't get that last chunk of what I was talking about. So I'm just going to summarize real quick what I was saying. There's nothing wrong with having your opinion, right? Everyone, you like what you like, dislike what you dislike, and you should feel the freedom to express that freely, right? That's a very, very good thing, and it's very healthy to be honest. I really do love hearing people's opinions, and one of my favorite conversations of all time is disagreeing with someone, right? Having a civil disagreement with someone. That's awesome. My problem is this trend of hating stuff. This isn't just exclusive to Marvel or superheroes or whatever. This is just, sadly, it seems like this is just the internet, right? Like, it's okay, it's cool to be negative, it's cool to be a hater and that kind of stuff. I really, really hate that. But specifically with Marvel, if you want to hate, do it. Like, cool, who gives a shit, right? But stop using comic accuracy as an excuse to do it, right? It's okay to just say, I don't like this stuff, right? Um that's to summarize what I'm talking about this, like, this whole video, this 10-minute rant. I just wanted to point out hypocrisy. It doesn't make any sense that when something is comic accurate, we complain that it's ugly or it's not good or whatever. And when something isn't comic accurate, we complain that, oh, it's not comic accurate. Why'd you do this when the source material is right there, right? Again, like, it's completely okay to have opinions based off of comic accuracy or not, but I believe that there's too much hatred and disguising it with excuses such as comic accuracy or bad CGI or whatever, right? If you have an opinion on something, that's good, regardless if it's something that you like or something that you dislike. Have reasons as to why your way would be better, or open a discussion, have an open dialect. Have reasons as to why you say the things that you do, if that makes sense. Because I understand it's the internet and everything is contextless and whatever. It just bothers me so much because I even have conversations in real life. It's not just the internet. It's just I even have conversations with people in real life, and people will say something, and I'll ask them, "Why is that?" Oh, it's comic accurate. Well, what else? What makes it so good if it's comic accurate? What makes it so good in the comics that would be different on the big screen? And they're not able to answer it. You know what I mean? It made me tweak out because there was just so much of it in such a short amount of time. It's like, fuck, dude, it doesn't make sense, right? Have your opinions. That's awesome. Just please have a reason why. Don't be a follower. Don't be a bandwagon. Don't say something because everyone else is saying it. And real quick, I really did not mean for this to be such a long video. prime examples I can think of are just movies overall. People hated The Incredible Hulk when it came out. And for the first like 10 years, people hated it. Now all of a sudden people are talking about like, oh, Edward Norton's Banner is the best. He had the best Hulk. It was the best everything. What else? The Amazing Spider-Man. People fucking hated Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. People hated it. It was just everyone was bandwagoning that opinion of, oh, the Amazing Spider-Man was bad. The script was bad. He was a bad Peter Parker. He was a bad Spider-Man. Now everyone loves him. And now it's, I don't get it. So just don't be a bandwagon. Have your own opinions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry that this was such a long video, and I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in such a long time. I want to get back to it. I'm kind of taking a break from Marvel Rivals, but I'll probably do another video on that. Other than that, thank you guys for listening for my long rants. If you guys disagree with anything, or if you guys want to add on to it, please feel free to in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I'm sorry that this was such a long video. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more. I really do appreciate you guys, and I really do appreciate all the support that I've been getting as of recently. It's actually just okay. I want to talk about that stuff more in a different video. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and I will see you guys next time.